I was originally given your works. I feel that you set the blueprint for this particular show 100%, and then I just came in and made works, edited works, or shot works that might show a present tense. And I think what's also fun is you're an artist and I'm a photojournalist, so our mediums are very different as well. When the works are in conversation with one another, it brings about almost a third interpretation of the work. And so it's really interesting to have your works from the 60s and the 70s in this great time capsule, and then to see what they look like in 2024.
There's something about that figure and then these shapes on the sidewalk, and I thought, they really relate. When I made this picture, I was 24 years old, and I had to learn how to get close to people, you know, because I was shy. But on the street, I mean, how do I go up to somebody without asking them, may I take your picture, but just making the picture? And so when I saw these two together, I thought, well, they do complement each other.
Yeah, and what I liked about this was, this is a time capsule of how women carried themselves, how they looked, how they self-represented. And then you have this woman on the left who's just like tattoos on the face, tattoos on the neck. I shot this with my little Q3 and a 28 millimeter lens, so I'm like this close to her. And she was really open to being photographed, and I thought, you know, there's something interesting about this because they also contrast in terms of a time capsule.
And you found a way to kind of make a comparison that's not about the city streets, but it's just about the way the camera describes a place. And you know, I think for myself, one of the reasons that I trust Leica as much as I do is that the description that a Leica lens produces is so exquisite. There's nothing like it. There's something about the acuity of a Leica image, when you make it on a big print, that is just, it's like airy. I want to get it as close to the thing that I experience, emotionally, visually, sensually, all of that. I want it to be in the print, as if the print is a window. So when someone stands in front of it in a museum or a gallery or something, they're there. They're not looking at a picture of it, they're there. It's somehow opened up. When I started, I borrowed a camera, and it was a single lens reflex. And then I got a Leica. A year later, I bought a Leica. And suddenly, I could see the world with this eye and the picture with this eye, and everything was in focus.
Amazing.
I wasn't making my decisions based upon the in and out of focus on the mirror. I was looking at the real world. And so this camera made me want to be out on the street and be a photographer.
Wonderful.
So, I mean,
look, I'll show you me. I photograph with my left eye, so I'm completely hidden.
You know who your partner in that was? Gary Winograd.
Oh, wow.
He was
High honor.
he was a left eye guy, so he would have to go like this all the time. I went to this side, but he would have to turn his head to look in there.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. You know, that's great context now, looking at his work. I'm gonna have that
You
now.
can see why it's tilted.
There's something exciting about this show, that we're bringing together different crafts. You know, what you do and what I do is very different, and it's able to somehow seamlessly come together.
Yeah, well, it's photography, but it's photography for different purposes. And yet, even though we're specialists, let's say, in other areas, we share the same passion for the medium and the same respect for what it does and how it tells us about our time and our lives and ourselves. And I think that, you know, that's the gift of photography.
And I think photography, I discovered it as a teenager, and it really sort of saved me in a way. You know, it gave a wayward teenager a pathway to doing something, to give me a life of purpose. And photography has really given me a life of purpose.